Hey guys, it's Heather and welcome back to my kitchen today. We are making something so good and I'm really excited about it. We're gonna do a beef and broccoli chow mein and it's super easy, super quick and delicious. So it has become a quick favorite in our house and a staple. You can put this together in 20 minutes from start to finish, from prep till eating it in your mouth. So I'm gonna show you the couple things that I added. We're gonna make the sauce and then we're gonna head over to the stove to throw it together. So for the sauce, I went with something simple, and all of these are ingredients that you can find at your local grocery store. So the noodles were the hardest thing to find. So a traditional chow mein noodle is a Chinese egg noodle, and my Kroger in Walmart that I went to didn't have a Chinese egg noodle. They had a lo mein noodle, and the first couple of times I tested this recipe, I actually used a lo mein noodle and it worked fine. I always undercooked it a little bit so it still had a little bit of a crunchy, chewy texture because it continues to cook once you put it in the skillet. So that works fine. Today I'm using the no yolk stir fry egg noodles. So it's a little bit, they're already like pre-cut so they're not super long. So we're trying this out today. We're gonna go for it. I've seen lots of people use it. I'm super excited to try it. So we did that. So use whatever you want. If you want, you can go to an Asian grocery store. We have one here in town. I just didn't take the time to do it. It all starts with oyster sauce, which I found at Kroger. Just look in the Asian aisle, all of this will be there. And to that, we're gonna add soy sauce and rice wine vinegar. Just right on in there. And then a little bit of sesame oil. I'm a huge fan of sesame oil. It's really, really strong, but we just did a little bit of it to kind of give it that Asian flavor, but not too much where it overpowers everything. So be really careful with that. And then the spices are ginger, white pepper, brown sugar, and red pepper flakes. If you're not a huge ginger fan, just cut back on the ginger. You don't have to add as much if you don't want. The white pepper, I think, gives it that extra little kick where you're like, what is that? And then the red pepper flakes just kind of brings it all together. So if you don't like it really spicy or kind of want it a little bit more mellow, just kind of adjust how you need. So all of that will just go right on in here. And then you're just gonna mix it. So this is it. So this isn't a heavy sauce. It's not gonna be dripping and oily and greasy like a Chinese takeout would be. It's just coats it just enough to give it a good, rich, deep flavor. So just stir it till that sugar and spice is dissolved. And you're gonna set this aside and add it at the very end. Now, before we go over to the stove to show you what we're gonna do, I'm gonna show you what we're gonna add. So we have about a half an onion that I've just sliced really thinly, just a white onion. And then broccolini, and this was just the package at Trader Joe's. So wherever you can find it, or just use regular broccoli, about a half a head, it doesn't matter. And then we have carrots. I did 3 carrots, peeled, sliced, and then just kind of made them into little matchsticks, something that's really easy that you're gonna be able to pick up with chopsticks. And then we have about a pound of steak. This is a sirloin steak. You can use a flank steak, just anything that's pretty thin and easy to cut. This is gonna cook really quickly. So I just cut it to a diagonal in little bite-sized pieces, and that's it. And then we have a whole package, which is 12 ounces of the no yolk egg noodles, egg stir-fry noodles, which I've already made. The package directions said to cook for 12 to 14 minutes, and I cooked for about 7. So again, like I said, I want it to be a little bit still chewy and hard because it's gonna finish cooking up in the skillet, and I don't want it to all just like mush together and kind of dissolve. So this is all that's going on. I'm gonna get you started because once it gets going, it's really quick. So I'm just gonna use a cast iron skillet. Just use any heavy bottom skillet that you have. It'll work, it'll be just fine. The main thing is you wanna make sure that it gets super hot before you start adding things. So put it on the stove, turn it on medium high heat, about 7 is what I use mine, and let it get really, really hot. All this is gonna cook relatively quickly. So first we're gonna add the steak and cook that off. You want it till just the outsides are brown. So I still like to have a little bit of pink in the middle of mine. You cook it however you want. It's gonna take probably 2 or 3 minutes. Then we're gonna remove that and cook the vegetables. So I'm gonna add the onions first, then the carrots, then the broccoli. After that's tender and how I want it, I'm gonna add back in the steak that's already cooked, the noodles, and then the sauce, toss it all together for probably 30 seconds to a minute, and that's it. So it goes by really, really quick, so it helps to have everything cut and ready to go. So you wanna make sure that your noodles are done, your vegetables are sliced, because you won't have any time to prep in between and your sauce is done. So we're gonna head over to the stove, throw it all together, and I can't wait to show you. It's so good. I'm gonna use a sesame oil. You just wanna use any high heat oil that you have. I'm just gonna add just, again, a teeny bit because I don't want that crazy overpowering sesame oil flavor, just enough to coat the bottom. And then first we're gonna throw in the steak. Just go ahead and toss it on in and get it going. So you want to kind of keep this moving around the pan as you do it. You don't want to get it stuck on the bottom, and make sure that all the pieces are evenly browned. So go ahead and just make sure that keeping a close eye on it. It's going to come together really, really quick, which is the beauty of this recipe because it's so fast. So I love it. This has been a great go-to weeknight meal the past couple of weeks, or really past month. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start taking it out. So I'm just going to put it back into that same bowl because we're going to use it here in a couple minutes anyway. So right back in. Just like that. Good, and then we're gonna immediately add the onions in and let those cook for a little bit before we add all the other veggies. And you kind of cook the vegetables to whatever doneness that you like. So if you like a little bit crunchier vegetable, especially like with the carrots and the broccoli, then you don't cook it as long. I don't really like mine like that. I like a little bit more soft, especially the onions. So just kind of cook depending on to what your liking is. So these onions are getting nice and soft. I'm gonna go ahead and add in the carrots. And then the broccoli, I'm gonna cook the carrots for just a little bit and then add the broccoli in. So we want to get the carrots nice and soft. I'm gonna go ahead and add in the broccoli. So just add that right in there, stir that around a little bit, and then we'll add everything else. The broccoli's gonna get nice and bright green. It's gonna be beautiful. Like I said, the broccolini is already really, really tender. So it's not gonna have to cook as long as a regular broccoli would. So just give that a nice good toss. We're getting to the point where we need a little bit of juice in the pan. So I'm gonna go ahead and toss back in all of the steak. And it has a little bit more juice reserved, which is perfect. Give that a nice little toss, and then we're gonna add in the noodles and the sauce, and then we are done. Give that a nice little toss, and then in go the noodles. Toss them up. Wanna make sure you have a nice big pan. The wok is always plenty big. Looks so good. All the colors, it's so pretty. So make sure we get all the vegetables from the bottom. All right, now we're gonna just add in that sauce and give it one final toss. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the heat off because all the cooking has already been done, and the residual heat from the burner will just finish it up. We're gonna pour that sauce right over top, make sure everything's nice and dissolved, get the last little bit of sugar on the bottom. Good, and then give it one final flip. So this is also good if you want to garnish it with a little bit of green onion, some chopped peanuts, any little addition you want to add on top, cilantro, some people do that. So, or just eat it as is, which we are going to do today. So make sure you toss it nice and good. You want to get all the sauce all over each of those noodles and the vegetables and the steak. And see, like I said, it's not a heavy coated, greasy, sticky sauce. It's just enough to give everything a nice little coating and flavor. So that's all that you need. So this is nice and light and filling. All right, I think we're done. So we're gonna take it off the heat and serve it up. All right, here's our chow mein all finished and ready to go. Full of flavor, full of vegetables, full of good protein, good noodles. Everyone needs a good noodle. So we're gonna go ahead and serve it up and see how it tastes. I'm so excited. I'm so hungry right now. So it's lunchtime and I'm ready to eat something. So I'm just gonna give it a final toss and make sure to plate a big heaping pile full of all of the goodies. So I want some carrots and some broccoli. So make sure you get all of that. It looks so good, so yummy. I wish you could smell this right now, smell-o-vision. It needs to be a thing. So eat it with chopsticks if you can. I'm gonna attempt, if not, have a fork for backup. So make sure you get a good bite of all of those things. I want some broccoli and some steak. Here we go. Perfect. Again, the flavor is just so good. It's light. The noodles are perfectly cooked. You're gonna love this. I mean, it's a perfect weeknight meal. Like you just saw, it comes together so quick and so fast. So for the full recipe, for everything that you need, the sauce ingredients, go to fuelingasouthernsoul.com. You'll find this and many, many more. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know how you like it, and I'll talk to you again very soon. Bye.